Hey everybody, this is Earth Church. I don't know why I call it that, but I just thought that was kind of funny. It's Sunday and I am digging around in the dirt, and I wanted to point out something really interesting as I play in the mud here with my shovels and my dirt, that this idea of like, how long more is this going to take? How long more are we going to have to continue quarantining ourselves and social distancing ourselves and um, being by ourselves and being within ourselves? And it's so interesting. So as I'm going to do some seed starting. So I have all these little pots here, and as I water the pots, the soil starts off dry. It's like this. It's dry. Looks like that. And then as I water the pots, the tops of the pots start to look really moist and juicy. And even some of the water sits on top of the pots. So here's the dry one. Looks really dry. Sandy. The soil's a little bit sandy here where I live. I've excavated some of my old beds, and some of that Florida sand has gotten into the soil. And then here's the pot that I watered, and it's got a wet, muddy look on top of it. It's kind of juicy looking. And so it's so interesting about the soil, because the soil, once you water it, the capillaries of the soil start to communicate with each other, and the water starts to drip down deeper and deeper and deeper. That's why raindrops or micro misting or micro watering is so efficient, because it's like one drop, one drop, one drop. But if you just sort of pour the water in, the water kind of stays up on top. But so because the capillaries of the soil, the communication system within the soil needs time to connect and communicate with each other. So this pot is wet and juicy on top, and now I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to show you what's underneath. So I'm going to scoop out some soil, and I'm going to show you that it's dry underneath. It's dry under there. Even though it looks juicy on the top, it's dry. And it looks just like this one that's dry over here. So underneath the top layer, this top layer that I watered one time underneath, it's dry soil, because the moisture of the water hasn't had the opportunity to sink deep down inside. And that takes time, and it takes patience. It takes patience on my part, because I have to like water it. I have to let the water start to sink down and let the capillaries start to communicate with each other. And look, this is just the surface, and I have all this whole pot that I would like the soil to be moist in. And that's just like this idea of us being in quarantine. Like, how long is it going to take? How long? We get this anxiousness that we want to just get it over with. We want to get done with, but we haven't had everything soak through yet. We're not cooked yet. We haven't had the cellular levels of our soul connected and communicating with our human self. So it takes time. It takes patience. We're slowly being watered. I love the word. We're being watered with the energy of love as we remove everything that's not important to us, or as we remove things that we don't want to do. We remove distractions. We remove things that we were forcing ourselves to do. We remove things that we think we should do. And we let ourselves be watered and bathed in our true spirit, our true nature. So we've got a little ways to go. We're not wet all the way through yet. We're not done. We're not cooked. Okay, my friends, this was just a spontaneous, I was calling it Earth Church just because it's Sunday today and I'm playing in the mud. Love you guys.